Alright guys, welcome back to the 70s Idol Adventure tier list. We are going to be getting a new character reveal tomorrow, which should be our summer character. Let me know if you're watching on the race day who you think is going to be. My guesses are between Summer Diane in the small version and also Summer Eastern. We'll see who comes. Is it going to be exclusive towards 70s Origin? With the wait and see, or maybe they just skip it entirely and then release the summer character like 2 months later, like how we got Valenti a month after Valentine's. But let's go through and update our tier list. Of course, always this tier list is yours as much as mine, so if you think something's in a wrong spot, then of course do let me know. And of course we'll do what we did actually this week or last week actually, where we go back and actually test characters again after a certain period of time to see how well they have aged or just better in the current climate of the game. And well, we should start off with some changes because well, we were definitely wrong about some characters. First we're going to be moving up is definitely Debrieri. Now Debrieri will literally move down from S to A because I just thought she is literally only used for base defense part 2, and outside of that, because we tried her when she first came out, granted lower level, but some characters even at a lower level have actually shined. And honestly, she was the one that honestly surprised me the most. Like, that damage she does, especially considering she's a tank character to where she can survive for 10 seconds, right? At least in the past, when the game first came out, the best tanks were carries that could survive for 10 seconds, but then people start bringing buff removals. Like, I remember even in the meta, Jen at one point was somewhat relevant at top tier because people were just buff removing the tanks, right? But yeah, we moved down because we thought she was only using base defense part 2, but yeah. Honestly, I kind of want to put her on my main team a little bit in PvP because she was actually surprisingly good. Doing like 2 to 3 billion damage while also being a good tank is definitely something worth having on your team. Diane, honestly, we moved down as well. We're going to move her up, right? I don't know where exactly on the tier list. Not really that is in order, but I don't really feel comfortable with her being the same tier as the other Diane, so I think we do have to move her up. Someone did say last time that she was actually pretty powerful and actually probably better than likely a lot of people in the S tier, but after testing her out again, even getting towards like, what is it, like 11 star? She was okay. She wasn't crazy, but she's definitely better than everyone in this tier list, basically. So, yeah, we'll move her up. Malaskula will keep in the same tier until we get, like, Assault Melee tank version, because that's just not where she's going to be used. Grey Road, we're going to move up as well. We tested her a lot, actually. She is just, like, the best single target debuffer in the game right now for tank characters. To just absolutely shred down boss stages. Must have. Been love bringing her in my team. Mon speed moving down though. Just I can't see the value anymore. Like to say, the meta's kind of shift a little bit. Before we had like no debuffers. Now we have a bunch all in the high tiers. Like even this Escalade can lower critical resistance. Goldvic can increase damage taken. There's just a lot more ways to debuff characters now. And the energy restore that he used to do isn't that valuable because a lot of characters, like obviously Berserk Melee, I think does it like 3 every time he does an AoE skill. Goldvic does it as well, if I'm not mistaken. Mon speed was the go-to debuffer even for single target content, but now single target content you're not going to use him, and in AoE content he doesn't get buff from Sins. There's no green character to buff up apart from a lane, but you're not really using a full green team. It's just hard to kind of fit him into a team. Maybe he should still be an S tier, I can't lie, because I don't really feel like, once again, I don't feel comfortable putting him in the same tier as these characters because yeah, he's at the bottom though. We'll leave him there for now. Let me know what you all think. And in terms of the last character we tested was like Jericho, which will just move up 1 tier. Like she actually is usable. Like right here, if you don't know what these characters are, they're basically just like, okay, the final option if you're doing Tower Trials, or they're literally just used for some nat hit bosses. That's kind of it, right? Like you want to bring a tank character that can taunt, you bring obviously the Matrona. You need someone to petrify, you bring Helpless. All you do, you never use them outside of that. But if you want that certain condition in obviously nat hit boss, that's where you use them. And in these ones down here just don't even get used. So I think that's kind of all for our tier list right now in terms of updating it. Let's guess going towards the newer characters, and we're probably going order actually. So Jericho honestly would have been S tier, maybe on the edge of SS, but then she got probably no, literally the biggest buff in the history of 70s Idol Adventure. Of course, if you saw the video, they basically just increased her multipliers, right? I think before she was doing additional 200% extra damage and like 300 on this one. Now it goes to 900, and in this one was like 500. Now it's 1000. So they just doubled, tripled, even quadrupled a lot of her damage increase to where, I mean, guys, you've seen it. I don't need to show you a lot, right? But we just, I mean, to be fair, this is Nightmare, so she's not going to do, I don't believe, as much. She's probably still doing decent. Yeah, like, considering that she is a 7-star character, she's doing more than my fully maxed out Deep Escanor with fully Super Awakening, and I think almost max attack. You could argue that's obviously because Escanor's not as great no more, but Jericho, I can't wait. Cannot wait to get her to a high dupe level. The damage she's going to be doing must have. Oh, okay, we got to move her up. Like I say, she would have been S tier. honestly, probably the top of SS, you know, just the fact that she is the best damage dealer towards single target bosses on stages, obviously not in actual like lab slam or dungeons, for example. Could even go up here, boys, but you know, she's only usable in Nightmare and normal stages. Hell, in the future, maybe she might move up a little bit with the wait and see. We'll be a bit more lenient in the future, like the top tier, right? Then we got the new Meliodas, who the second one to come out this actual, I guess, by month for Super Do our tier list. And he was still an interesting one, man. You don't really see him too much because obviously people don't have him towards a high dupe level, and we already have Berserk Melee. We just got a new Meliodas. Oh, people aren't too like interested in his character as much, but for once again a character where we only have him at 6-star, he was kind of surprised a little bit. This skill doesn't really matter too much, but in this one it was kind of cool a little bit. I want to see if I'm ever going to get this on an actual tank character, but essentially what he does do is every 5 seconds he's going to grant the damage reduction buff, which means he can only be hit for 1 HP, basically immortal, but for 1 HP, right? So if he was literally 1 HP he would die, but the difference is also as well doing AoE damage. But the gimmick is he then has a chance to reset his cooldown, which is 40%. It's not the highest, not the lowest either, but I feel like it should proc more than not. But if he does reset it, he will reset his cooldowns by 1.5 seconds to where he can just spam this ultimate. And this is kind of why you want to do this, because this ultimate, even though it only lasts 5 seconds, if you're resetting it, like the debuff, which is damage over time, and also cannot be cleansed, so like someone like Elizabeth, for example, can't cleanse it, this buff goes crazy if you manage to stack it all up. And I believe it counts for every single person hit, so you don't have to use it 10 times. If you hit 10 people, it will just instantly stay on. But yeah, if you max it out, 120% extra attack, and then what's it, 50% crit chance, critting on this skill, it does alright damage. Can't say he is too crazy in single target content. You can use him a little. You can use him in AoE content. He was actually pretty decent. But I think for right now, maybe he'll move up later on. Can in some situations, it's Escanor right here. In fact, you know what? I think we have to move up Escanor, don't we? Because this Escanor is better than this Escanor. The problem is, it's just that the way the game works is a lot of dupes matter. And right now, not a lot of people have Escanor Deep Tower. But I think at this point, especially considering they gave out this free event to where we've now gotten like at least like 7 to 8 copies of Escanor for free. You can see we've fully claimed all of them. And my Escanor right now is get on up to a decent deep level. Like one more, a few copies onto him. He can be decent. My only problem with him is that he's got no AoE skills, because this special skill, it felt like it was meant to be a festival level character, because the way certain characters work nowadays, if you go towards like the festivals, like Berserk Melee, right? You have an AoE skill. You have the Dark Claw, which is what normal people have, right? You have a second damage ability. Granted, not everyone's done this, right? But then you have the special skill that gives you some sort of buff, right? But I feel like this Escanor, this was his buff skill, and he should have something on the side of it just to do a little bit extra damage, right? And since he does lower critical resistance, you actually can bring him as like some sort of like debuff for a little bit. Once again, this is Nightmare stages, so he's not going to do too much, but like he does okay damage. Like it's not bad. I think once he gets up towards like Escanor numbers, he might be a lot better. Just obviously the stats matter in this game. So I think for this we'll move him up. I'm okay with him right now for like in this tier, and we'll keep Melly in the S tier because yeah, right now, still a new character. Let me know what you lot think. I think right now, you just rather not use him at all until he gets towards a high dupe level. But for now, we're even there. And then we have to talk about Merlin. So, we kind of being a little bit of a hypocrite right now, right? Because, well, we just talked about Meliodas being kind of a low dupe level, so a lot of people aren't going to use him too much. Is that the thing for Merlin? Not necessarily, because she does have a lot more uses outside of just being a pretty good damage dealer. She has a bunch of support abilities. But has Berserk Melee been dethroned? Maybe. They are both very, very good, and also, I mean, you still want to use both of them, right? So let's talk about Merlin a little bit. So what does Merlin do? Like, I haven't seen it. Of course, you probably have if you've on this channel. She has some decent actual damage numbers. Also, her attack multiplier, or like her stat-wise, like attack is actually really good. Like 1 million at this star level is crazy. I think last time Berserk Melee had like 800k, 900k a little bit. So she might actually have the highest attack in the game. Also, not to mention, she's got some pretty good multipliers. 200% attack with already a high attack level, grants the magic awakening guaranteed just for landing it, no chance, you just get it automatically for using your skills, which is going to increase her attack by quite a lot, and also attack speed, which stacks up to 20 times. So once you get going and you're spamming your normal skills, you're going to stack them up even more, and I've got to Merlin up towards 20 stacks. Like, it's not like an uncommon thing. She does get there. And then the best thing a little bit is she has this skill, which I think, to be fair, her ultimate AoE skill do have some really long animations, which is kind of why you want to increase her attack speed, so you kind of get out of that attack animation faster. But also, she does it every 5 seconds, which is a good thing for her, because that means she can then spam these normal skills, where we go towards someone like Merlin, for example. Well, yes, Merlin gets accuracy, which is kind of okay, and he gets that guaranteed for attacking. You might think you want this to attack, but no, you don't. You want this to land. If he crits, he then does the AoE skill and also restores energy. So you ideally want Merlin to be spamming these AoE skills, where for Merlin, for example, you want her to be spamming the single target skills. So yes, Merlin in like AoE content is better in a sense, because he's spamming AoEs, giving you a bunch of energy, gonna be doing probably the best damage in that case, right? But then when it comes to like single target content, and just even like the gold hero XP dungeon, because Merlin can't really crit like the higher stages, having this AoE skill to not only deal a lot of damage, pretty big meter, 6 meters from the initial target, which I think is that not just Merlin's ultimate? No, it's not, because it's around him, where the actual, it's from the target, so a little bit different. But it has one of the more unique abilities in the game, where you can pull the characters inwards, and we tested it in Tower Trials. Characters that normally stay from the far left and far right, do you get pulled in close enough to where you can start taking some hits from other big characters, which is just, yeah, super valuable. Like I said, no other character can do it. And a really cool ability, which is like taken from obviously the final season, I believe it was, which she used against Chandler and Cusack to find their weakness, which is like thunder and lightning. So she does that a little bit in this game too, by just removing the disadvantage attribute on targets, which, if you lot hadn't seen, is minus 20% final damage if you're type of disadvantage, right? So it's very situational. It's like not every character is getting it, but if you are type disadvantage, which obviously does happen, you can kind of think of it as Merlin buffing up the damage by 20%. And then ultimate, once again, really high multiplier, big AoE, and it also does a bunch of debuffs like Petrify, Stun, Silence, and Paralyze, which pretty much, to be fair, 2 out the main ones, Stun and DPS and Petrifying tanks. So I think we got to change our tier list now, the King and Queen, because these are just insane together. If you've seen Merlin or used her, and we will try a little bit right now. To be fair, Nightmare, she's not going to shine too much, because obviously she is low dupe level, so she's not going to do too much. But you can see the damage numbers are pretty decent, considering that she's like, you know, only 7-star, and she's not even obviously like has Jericho's passives. I've seen people test her out near enough max dupe levels, and she is doing more than Berserk Meliodas, but that's probably likely more in single target content, because I think she does shine more than Berserk Meliodas in single target content. AoEs, she's probably up there, not doing as much as Berserk Melee, but if we look at the characters in this tier list, she's doing way more than everyone else, right? Not only in terms of damage, but then support abilities, making everyone in this tier list basically shine, even Berserk Meliodas. So I think with that being said, I think most people agree she is the best or second best DPS in the game. Alright, then we have our first new Transcendence character, which, funny enough, by the way, you lot don't know, I keep track of like how characters get added to the game, so I actually number them when they get added. And he actually was, or I guess you can class Merlin, but he was the 100th character to be ever added towards this game. So quite fitting that he's actually, you know, the first Transcendence character. But where does he belong? So he's a bit of a tricky one, because he is time gated, right? You cannot summon for him. He's also paywalled, because if you do get him to like a certain dupe level, you then get the pack to pop off where you can spend like $7 or $70 to get like 4 copies of him for free. It's quite a lot of money, obviously, but if you want to just do it free to play, you get like what, 200 stamina or currency a day to buy him over the course of the next month, basically. And he's pretty good. I think like if he gets up there towards like Berserk's like actual just like max level, will he be the best character in the game? Probably not kit wise, but that goes to show that when we do eventually, guys, get like Pitch Black Meliodas in Transcendence, we're gonna lose it, right? Like the potential of these Transcendence characters are actually insane. So damage wise, look, he's 4-star on Nightmare, plus 1,000 or 11,000, right? Like that's actually kind of impressive, and especially because he survived too, right? So number-wise, he's actually got some pretty good attack and also accuracy. Like, the way they statted this character is you can actually use him at a low dupe level. I think once we get him towards, like, 6-7 star, he actually might be a really good DPS character. Just looking at, like, the way they're going to go about doing the Transcendence characters, it's going to be good, right? But let's talk about Melly's kit, actually, because, well, he is probably decent. Like, he's just an upgrade of this Meliodas right here. And this Meliodas, ever since he's been in the game, hasn't been like top tier, right? Because, well, his kit is limited. So this is a lot better. He does get the crit chance. So now, obviously, on this skill, if he does land a crit, he can reduce his own cooldowns. Not to say there was a problem when this Meliodas came out, but counts were newer. We didn't have access towards like Merlin, for example. So he wasn't as good early on. Ultimate is the exact same with some manners, little changes towards like multipliers. And obviously, I think the little uptime on the triple step. But the main thing is this. This is crazy. Increase final attack and accuracy on characters that are the 7-day sins, which is just valuable. So I think for that reason, where do you want to put him? Does he belong in the same tier as King, when King all he does is increase final attack by 20% through the ultimate and crit damage, where Medi is doing that passively for just being alive on the team, and also increase accuracy just for having him on the team, like I did say. And he has the ability to get a really high attack and stat wise. So I think for that reason, I'm actually right now using him more than this Meliodas, especially because they are kind of the same dupe levels for me right now. That accuracy buff and the attack buff is just insane, right? So yeah, must have. You can see right now, at least for my teams, we see you have him right now in nightmare stages. Just put him on the team, especially with the addition right now of the new 9th and 10th character. It's been out for a while now, but they now expanded the actual slots by 2, so you could just throw him in and leave him. Put him in the back line to where he never really gets targeted. And damage wise, I gotta say, it's not bad. It's 2 billion damage. It's, look, a little bit more than, just a little bit lower than Escanor, and he's like, what, 5 stars lower? Just imagine he gets towards these, like, these dupe levels. He's gonna probably do sometimes most DPS. Maybe not more than these two, but some pretty good DPS. Some content you can use him in, obviously, Lapis Armor Dungeon. In the Gold Hero XP Dungeon, he's really good because he just literally don't attack, so just having him on your team is really good too. So yeah, guys, that is going to wrap up our tier list. A lot of rambling a little bit, but I hope you guys do enjoy these videos because I just love talking about the characters in this game a little bit. But yeah, crazy changes this actual, I guess, season, you want to call it, or update, with a newer character going up and rivaling Berserk Millie a little bit. New Transcendence character, which could definitely shake up the game. Like I did say, this Lost Bay Meliodas wasn't even that crazy. Imagine when we get it for this Escanor. We get it for like Pitchback Melee. We get it for like who would be like the next choice? Maybe Merlin? Get some more buffers for sins. Will be pretty good. Monspeed will be really good too, because he's lacking a little bit, but if we get some more stat buffs, some more actual like multipliers, give him more energy a little bit, make the actual critical resistance or the Hellblaze he does lower more, so it's not just getting outshined by Grey Road. Could be kind of crazy. So looking forward to it. Like I can say, new characters are coming tomorrow or revealed tomorrow. I think the update might be dropping on Wednesday or Tuesday. We have to wait and see what the patch shows do say. But guys, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.